Hello everyone, and today we're going to discuss a very important, in my opinion, topic about utopia and the human condition, from Universe 25 to modern society, and when comfort replaces purpose, civilization fades. So today I want to pay your attention to very important research. So it's evidence-based, back to 1970s by John Calhoun. And I'm inviting you to watch some films. But first of all, the most important film I want you all watch is filmed by John Calhoun in 1972 actually. Then is documentary about his research when he is making predictions about his project, his belief, what he confirmed, and what was misunderstanding on his predictions when he was making this research. It was funded and actually done in the United States. The second very important, in my opinion, film what I invite you to watch and reflect about is Down the Rabbit Hole, the Mouse Utopia experiment. It was filmed in 2017. It's a short documentary that, again, the author and the actors there, it's a film about, documentary about Calhoun's work, what he have done, confirmed, and actually a little bit more history and a little bit more information. Why it's important? Because any single longevity club might talk about it. It's so many research already done. They have a history, and more important, we live in utopia. Why it's important? Because we get overwhelmed, and they are living as never before in the most richest time than any human being in the history. That's it. You have to face it, and every single place in the world lived much better even than 50 years ago. Then the research been made by the scientists, and they're predicting what's going to happen in 50 years. And here you are, nearly there, 50 years, nearly approach to us, and we can discuss, we can reflect, and we can wish or predict what's gonna look like next 50 years ahead. Majority of us still might be alive, still might be, will be able to record some videos and predictions if you'll be still alive, to laugh or confirm which point we're correct and where we've done mistake. So what is utopia and why it is important to learn about for lifestyle, for life? It's come from Greek, utopos, there is no place, and utopos, or good place. It's coined in Thomas More in 1516. It's the vision of perfection, of perfect order. Promise the harmony, equality, and abundance and peace. So when you have a perfect order and you have abundance of everything people expect and they want, you don't have predators, everybody's kind, you have shelter, water, food, happiness, you have everything what you need to be happy. But paradox is that perfection removes struggles and bringing us into stagnation. Every utopia hides dystopia, and the question of this lecture today is, can humans thrive without challenges? That is a question, and as I said, I invite you all watch the documentary, think about it, agree, disagree, discuss with your relatives, with your friends interested in longevity or in general in the history, and maybe share your opinions in closed club. I think that should be a topic behind closed doors, not very public, because you should be able to express your views, to express your political, your human, your knowledge, or philosophical or religious views on this topic. It's a very broad spectrum, so many topics possible, so many amazing outsides you will find, and I think it's great preparation for people for the quiz or discussion board for people to get them closer and think about brighter future. We always think about brighter future. That's why lifestyle medicine trying to bring to the surface such old things we forgot from 50 years ago, 100, 200 years ago, and present it as new. It's not new. No, the research is very long time ago, nearly 50 years ago. Values and majority of things that lifestyle medicine promoting is old thing we all forgot, and they need to revive and bring this back to practice. John Cullen is the scientist of Utopia, and he lived in beginning of past centuries. He was born 1917, died 1995, and he modeled perfect society using mice. We know the mice as the lab rats, and the mice has done a lot for human, and they did help us progress so much. However, as well, we got a lot of failures because we're not mice, we are humans. They have a different, we have a culture, we can see the future, we can even predict future, and a lot of animals don't have that, and they don't see future. They live in now, they don't remember the past. But how we understand, we humans forget the past, even history. We're so advanced, they're still learning, constantly doing similar mistakes, and Utopia confirming that. Universe 25 was his research. Then he provided to the mice perfect condition to thrive, to flourish, and food and water and shelter and ideal climate, everything into the perfection. What better you can have, dear mouse? Expected peace, but they will expect, when we have everything, we given it for granted or they provided, we expect the ideal world, paradise. But as a result, actually is bring to opposite, to absolute collapse. And he called it behavioral sink. And real test, what happens when meaning disappears, when you don't have predators, when you don't search for the shelter, but you don't create, then you don't have needs and you don't have struggles. What he confirmed in his research, that material abundance is nothing linked with well-being. Your longevity is not linked to the amount of money you have in your pocket or in your bank account. And it's evidence-based. Material well-being is not the same as well-being. Overcrowding eroded cooperation, and we know nowadays is overcrowded. Our city is overcrowded, and they're trying to hide. And it's well known and confirmed that too many people together erode communication and proper cooperation and bring us to isolation. Bring violence, withdrawal, ineffectively, and asexuality. This is also, we notice nowadays happening. Some places become more violent. We have everything to reduce a crime. We have everything to be not violent, but we have an opposite psychological effect. Humans sometimes become more violent even before. We have withdrawal from purpose, withdrawal from life. People get depressed more and more, get anxious, and mental well-being in severe decline as never, and they get more asexual. Also, this tendency getting very visible nowadays. People don't feel their gender. They don't want getting closer with opposite genders, and they question themselves a lot. Is the tendency. So a lot of this research having confirmation and me confirming that Utopia is not the right solution, and we have to act wisely. So loss of structure bringing us to extinction, and purpose in this space vital for social species. We go into the cities, we travel too much, creating these crowds of tourists. Sometimes you can't even walk through, then you approach some sort of touristic place, it's all crowded, it's too many, we can't enjoy it. and death of spirit before death of body. We notice this as well with modern tendency, but I want to leave this topic for you and for your friends behind closed doors to reflect. This is the facts that confirmed and evidence-based. What, however, this research did not confirm, and when you're going to watch the film, I'm going to tell you what challenges and still questions we might find the answer later. That mice, of course, we know they're not humans. They don't have a language, they don't have a culture, they're not creative, they don't have a moral, and they can't see future. They live only from now, and they can't pass. They of course they have the genetics. We remember things in the past, and this information to the next generations, and that was the reason and the purpose of research. Yeah, how this epigenetics and genetics is passing from generation to generation, confirming that irreversibly on the mice get negative effect. Human adaptive and our brain much more flexible as well, and it's very hard to test. So we're very flexible. We're like a Play-Doh, and our brain is different. And we're like the world is big again. It's hard to compare, and we know it's not equal. So we can't say that humanity expecting the same end, I would say the end, as the mice in that experiment. Education, spirituality, and absence of rituals in the mice as well. We're not able to have that comparison to humans, what we can put this in the place. And of course, we can't predict future, and they haven't got any technologies. If mice has got internet, if mice has got more physical activities or trainings in your treadmill, so they can create a little gym in the corner. They haven't got these opportunities like visualization of the future or connection with the mice from another corner via Wi-Fi. But we don't know what's going to happen with the mice as well. And we can't test it, yes, because mice is not that advanced. Monkeys actually could be, but we have very strict nowadays research on monkeys. Yeah, so we can't. Monkeys done so much for humans, but sadly, research there were very unhuman and very tough in the history. We have to say thank you to the animals, because we're human. They done so much for us to go ahead. Metaphor and power mirror our human excess. So we are the most dangerous species in the world. In animals, they're the most unpredictable, and of course we can't compare them with mice. What happened 50 years after, nearly 50 years since this research had been done? Are we in universe 25? Because we have such a rich life, we have everything, we have too much food, we eat too much, they relax too much, we entertain too much, we groom ourselves too much, including me. They have so many useless items, so many things that we don't need, but we found it's very important. Entertainment now, on the highest level since, I would say, humanity never ever got in the history of human. The richness and overproduction of everything, availability of everything again, we have as never before in the history. Digital crowding replace social loneliness. Yeah, we won't have so many followers when we record any video, when we have more likes, we want people to follow us. They somehow assess this, and they lose an identity. It's very hard when you have a few followers and you have smaller groups. You can communicate, or you can record lectures and provide these lectures for everyone. But when it's too many, it's hard to stay connected. So since 1973 to 2025, abundance, yet loneliness. yeah, and fertility decline, and that's been confirmed in the mices. They're getting more, they're still getting more and more beautiful ones, the people and mice. So what being these beautiful mice? Beautiful mice, they're pampering and looking after themselves like all day long. They're looking perfect, so clean, so shiny, so perfect. They have absolutely no desire to do anything else, including raising children, having children, maternal instincts going down the hill. They didn't want to have a children or look after their offsprings, or they kick them out or neglect them, or you can abuse them, being aggressive to the next generations. And that just things, so we can see, they can notice this happening as well. Apathy, attention crisis. Somebody to watch and get attention, you have few seconds. So, few seconds before human actually was curious and they're like staying and like sometimes like animals, they're curious what's going to happen. Then they freeze and they're trying to understand, they're trying to concentrate what's going to happen next. So now we have 1, 2, 3 seconds max to get your attention, and if you're not getting the attention, you scroll next one, next one. Of course, it's might be dangerous in later, so we need to have a slightly different effect or inform people what's going to happen, at least what happened to their brain. You know, every brain is different. Fertility decline, we know that the males mainly infertility, we have I would say not enough attention to the male crisis. Ego very powerful, but gone into decline severely. Male fertility lowest, nearly twice lower than grandparents. So the male now, comparison to the grandparents, we have less intimacy, less sexual performance, and less thrive is because there is no challenges for the man. Yeah, you just sit on the computer, you just scroll, woman available, imagination available, studies, adult websites available, and this is going to into decline, severe decline of population. This is what actually research was also about, but technology is here helping. We need to doing actions, and I think adults websites start doing some sort of actions, and you have to identify yourself and more confirm ID confirmation. How old are you? That was others prevention, and of course you'll be collected with different words. If you have constantly on adult websites and constantly there, you spend this time there rather trying to pursue human needs in real life, then you probably will be tracked, because we know now every single device is everything what you do online or devices, everything linked to some sort of software and artificial intelligence. All the data gets stored and we get tracked at all time. And of course, this information is some sort might be used against us. And sadly, in some countries, is getting used against us. In artificial intelligence, get punished, getting more and more punishment, or what you have done, what you said. So all these chains need to be tracked. And I think we have a pluses and minuses about the technologies, but probably it will be on the end hopefully beneficial, because every single progress have down positive sides and negative sides. Apathy. So I've been coming back, but we confirmed after 50 years of research. Apathy, attention crisis, loss of purpose. A lot of people, we don't know why they enter this world, what we have to do in this world. We get lost because everything is getting overcrowded and virtual. Everything is too much. It's too many clothing, too much of everything. Whatever you want, it's just we consume too much. We already get bored. We don't know where to go because we can't put the concentration in something one. It's too much choice. In relationships, I don't like it, or it's too hard. I've attention. I give you 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's not interesting. You go away. We argue, or you're doing this. We have 1, 2, 3. No, next one. And of course, this is going to degradation. So we go nowhere. So have to be addressed, and we have to learn new skills. Not new skills. The skills we're used to. A human lived millions years before. Column foresaw collapse through comfort, and this is what's happening when we have everything. And we have too much food, we have too much sugar, we have overwhelmed of everything, and they still call it poverty. And the poverty in terms of people don't know how to use resources, they don't know what they need, how much they need, and they don't know how to plan these things. The absolute loss of purpose, and when we don't know where to start. Lifestyle medicine, educational systems, actually youngsters, it's very hard for them because two generations above them getting lost the most. They born 50, 70 years ago, you know what I mean? It's very hard, but youngsters, where we can learn, where to go, what to do. So we need to be creative. Maybe, hopefully, we'll find a way to give them, but it's not enough of them. The problem is the birth rate is lowest since as well in human history. We need more humans, youngsters, that should give them more solution. Will be solution, guys? And because we want to live longer, older generation, and we will be majority, 60 plus if in a few years in the worldwide, so older, elderly, who absolutely already can't, but the brain can't adapt to the modern world is much, much harder. So this majority who can adapt, who forgot already how we should live because of this technology took over, who want to live, of course, clearly much longer, and then they taken this word from younger generation, and I think that will be quite challenging. So we have to learn, motivate, inspire younger generation to find solutions and include us, more older generation in there, because we are majority, but they get more vulnerable. Still, the younger generation should save us. Hopefully, in the next 15, 20 years, they will find a way how to do it. So we must rediscover challenges and connection, and this is what the best older generation we can do. We can motivate them, we can bring, at least because we're older, we have a little bit more storytelling, or a lot of us remember the moments of poverty or without internet, without even the phone, and they can share with younger generation and can thrive them. Okay, listen, but you know what, 50 years ago it was like that, before that it was different world, and bring them insights or try to show them how they've been before. So we need to revive the 50, 70 years back and show them an example. Why? Because history repeated utopias. It seems like we should remember, we have language, yeah, so we have books, we have history, we learn about it, and we're not doing anything about it. We have Rome, history from luxury, and what happened, everything gone. All this wine and this beauty and all this richness and utopia of Roman Empire faded and gone. What else? USSR broke no long time ago. I'm a USSR baby. When it broke down, I was only 7 years old, and the 10 years, 15 years afterwards is such a challenge. But the good thing is, after Utopia fall apart, it's a huge challenge. Yeah, it's like you have everything you eat. You don't think there is your food, electricity, water come from. And believe me, in Soviet Union, the water is up. Electricity was only over time because it was cost absolute penny, and then everything shattered. You can imagine everything gets. You're not counting. You're not value anything. Boom, one day. Not one day, but then the paradise changed. The world changed and you have nothing. And now you need to pay for everything so much money. And people are like, boom, boom. It's like a shock. What to do? I have to pay for the water. And the price of water now is so expensive. Then, for example, if you take Soviet person back and explain how people live in now, how much we pay for electricity, for the gas, for the water, probably, you wouldn't be able to understand it. But then a challenge arrived, yeah, and actually revive the people, bring back to poverty, back to challenge, huge challenge. There is no food, there is no government. You can imagine just very quickly everything fall apart. And this is what happening. Why we need to make the Roman parallels and other historical parallels? Because empire of abundance bred and bring decline in still virtue and mirroring things. When you have everything in too much of everything, they go into stagnation and then finally to the collapse and falling apart, and restore it super hard, and usually this place is struggling to restore. Over-reliance on slaves eroded duty, and we getting more rely on now on computers, on robotic things rather on ourselves. Birth rates dropped and elites decades, and moral fatigue persists, collapses. So when we have everything available for you, I'm talking about adultery. When you have so much choice, you do what you want, you go out with everyone you want, we have too many choices, nothing apart of collapse is going to happen. Then you don't have a moral. And I do think young generation bringing this moral back. Sadly, they have lowest closeness and intimacy, or I would say experiences comparison to the older generation of us. They date harder, it takes them much slower. They found it very hard to get connected in real life because we live in such online world. But actually it's good because they have challenge, and this challenge will be positive. So that's why I'm more positive about future than I'm watching my own children, teenagers growing and entering this world, that we, and the challenges they've gone through, I hope they will find a way. So comfort bred fragility and is a timeless warning. What they learned from Dutch? Probably from golden age to absolute decline in 17th century. In history, we probably know in Europe, Dutch people, Netherlands was the legend in the world, in the trade, in the art, in intolerance, in science and finance and well-being. If you go to the Netherlands, even nowadays, you probably visit this beautiful tiny museum and you see how people have a luxury lifestyle. But it was like 300 years ago, 400 years ago, for a long time ago, but it was the golden ages. And was built for exploration. They're taking the risk. The trades were bringing so many things, isn't it? But social cohesion and fragility faded, and 18th, 19th century brought over speculation and, of course, moral fatigue, and the society broke apart. The tulip mania became a symbol of wealth detached from values. Lesson: societies fall not from poverty, but from losing their ethic, morality that made them thrive. Soviet dream, that a lot of people come from Soviet Union, and I'm one of them, so still maybe in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, so there's a lot of people still alive, and they remember these challenges and remember what life was all about. Then they promised equality, work and purpose. So it was actually everybody wanted to find a job. When you finish university, you have to work for free for 3-4 years, and you've been sent. So it was no question what you need to search for the job. You need only apply for the job and you've been sent. But where are you going to be sent? That's the question. But in terms of everything that's happening in the Soviet Union and the modern war, I want to explain you that people were sent all around. You might be born in Siberia, sent to Ukraine. You might be born in Ukraine and then being sent to Siberia. And they was trying to find, or they sent it to Chechen Republic or Kazakhstan, Armenia, Georgia, so many different countries. And everything was flipping all around the human world. And everybody got the job, everybody got the shelter, everybody got the water, everybody talking about literally in history it was utopia. Everybody was provided, very simple, very basic way, but bureaucracy and the fear was also there. So if you declined to do something, you could be arrested easily. It was very strict rules you have to follow. As a result, innovation was slowed, and because in some dark times in the Soviet Union it was very dangerous because you have a lot of fear and loss of trust. Individuality was also suppressed, so you have to stay absolutely neutral like everyone else, and all this brings to stagnation and collapse later on, and they all arrived to be in this vacuum. We've been sent to different locations, out of the families, and it was a chaos. And these chaos finally fall apart, leaving the countries and the people, broken families, under the rules that you can't actually even reconnect. Sometimes you not even can reach your family because you have to be in absolutely different part of the world. And this abundance of control, starvation of spirit, the churches was limited, your beliefs was actually punished. If you have your own spirituality, you have to hide it and you have to pass it very peacefully and very calmly, without advertisement. And then collapse in 90s, and the people struggled a lot, and they struggled, make them think and make them stronger. And actually my generation and generation maybe 10 years ahead, living in these struggles, then in the most important times when you're a teenager and everything collapses, you don't have food in the markets and you have a starvation, you live in the hardest times, actually make you stronger. And I remember these times very well, and I can say, struggles make us stronger, make us flourish and work hard for brighter future. And the good thing is that then is hard times, the temporal, and any struggles make us stronger. And sadly to say, modern Western society live in utopia, and we expect that welfare, technology and comfort we all live in right now might face quite soon collapse. And we notice that this collapse is already happening in life. Our life getting shorter year by year. And it's not because of the COVID, it's because of utopia, of overwhelming, of a food, of limited lifestyle, of not desire to do something because we have too much in far for everyone. Yet records loneliness, they are outranging everyone in anxiety, depression, mental well-being. The majority of people can't cope with daily tasks, with declining fertility. In rich countries, in advanced countries, it's very expensive to have family. They question, youngsters question if they will be able to afford a family. They're not women question if they will be good mothers, and they feel challenged to take such responsibility to bring new generation into this world. We live in the time of overconsumption and all under connection, physical connection, because we're so overcrowded. When we get into this overcrowded space, we're coming back and we want to isolate it. So we need to do something about it. We need to bring back culture of groups, smaller groups. Then we feel comfort, when we don't feel overwhelmed. And of course, all that will slow down economy. As I said, behavioral think reborn digitally. And what's going to happen? Well, we can learn only from the history. They can discuss it behind closed doors, what our expects or what we expect for the next 50 years will look like, or how this transformation of Western world will go. It will be a challenging time, but the good news is, when the Western world go through the challenges we are now, actually, they might have us still hoping for the brighter future. Hedonic treadmill. If you heard about the treadmill, it's just expression psychological way. Then you go up and you constantly, it's never enough. You walk, and you never get to where you want. You're never satisfied. It's a pleasure without progress. You have a one shirt, you want a second. You have a second shirt, you want the third, and it's going building up, building up, building up, and as a result they get overcrowded and overwhelmed, and they have a chaos because it's too many items or it's too many things done, and as a result we get lost. We're simply not, never can come to the where we want. It seems like we're there but we're not satisfied, and this is why comfort stops satisfying us. So we have already everything, but they still call this poverty. Funny enough, their children they say living in the poverty, and what they call modern poverty is not actually even poverty. They're making wrong choices, or they want too much, and society believes that what they have is not good enough, and we're gonna label it as poverty. But people simply lost ability to live differently. That's why we call it poverty. They expect having too much, and this is normal society expectation, to have internet, to have even, for example, if you pay with your card, somebody has to pay. So for £1 you can't buy, because you have a service charge of the bank, you have to pay to the bank, or doesn't matter who pays, pay the business, or you pay directly, or you trade with someone. What I'm saying, the value of the money for every single transaction getting less. So as a result, we don't notice that, but modern technologies and modern life become more and more expensive, and the value for the money goes down over time. Of every single year, with £1 or a certain amount of value when you buy or sell or trade, actually is not equivalent. So it's not equivalent with I'm made something, I'm selling to you, because we have hidden charges in there. But it's not about hedonic treadmill. Hedonic treadmill describes how people quickly adapt to improve lifestyle. We all forget about 50 years ago, for the moment, then majority of us having got the shower or the bath in the house, then we shared the bedroom, or the houses was much smaller, or in terms of my childhood, the majority of us having got even bathroom within the house. They go to the saunas once a week. We live in such an environment, and forget about it, because nowadays everybody got the bathroom, everybody have a toilet indoors, everybody have central heating system, everybody have a lot of space. We live in quite uncomfortable world, but they still believe it's not good enough. They still want to somehow to live better. But we forget things, building up the house, improving condition, getting harder and harder to do it by yourself. Because everything what you can do by yourself, it should be quite simple and should be available for everyone. But now you can't build any more house by yourself and live it safely, because building control knock to your door and saying, you done it wrong way, you have so much law, so much regulations, you need so much equipment, and actually make it very hard and very expensive. Constant novelty seeking replace contentment with restlessness and boredom. Even if you want to want something new, want something exciting at a time, everything is available and it's hard to sparkle up a brain. Society is trapped in abundance, chasing stimulation instead of meaning. So we want these roller coasters. But I can tell you, young generation actually not. It seems like maybe it's people now in the 40s and 50s and even 60s. We live in this stock, if you like, and we are majority. And this is a danger because we're not adapted. And for us, it's very hard to be more flexible. Older they get, harder it is for us to adapt to modern world. Because we can't show to new generation what to do, they're also stuck. And it will take them time to adapt. So we should or show them other options, joy in the life that we already forgot because we live in utopia times. And these chronic adaptations, new technologies bring you to the burnout and apathy. and representing everything was being discussed in Universe 25. So challenge here is population and the people in their 40s, 50s and 60s. We are the trouble, we are the problem, and we have to deliver and understand we have to change somehow and support new generation if we want something better happen when we're getting older. But we're talking about longevity, but you still want to live better lives, so we have to change. And we should give this example to younger generation and inspire them to flourish, to find themselves, to have a purpose in life. But we stuck in somehow is in this hedonic treadmill. They want more, more and more, and the young generation looking at us thinking, oh my God, this is such awful life in there. They struggle themselves. We don't want to have children because they struggle so much. Look at them. So let's do something about it, and let's bring these old things back to life, because true well-being grows from purpose, not from pleasure, but we stick in this pleasure now at our time. Now I want to mention is the 3-generation cycle from growth to decay. And of course, 3 generation getting all longer and longer. Before generation was around 20 years, now we're going to 30 years, 1 generation. If historically 200 years ago we live 40 years old, so a lot of us living now around 80, like 70, 80, so we doubled. And so generations, we're still presenting in here, where majority of us historically we should go. And here, important to mention, the wealth rarely survives its creators. And here is about the money and about it's not enough, about this treadmill of I want more, 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 with the hope that I will be able to pass it to the next generation. If you will be dead at the age of 30, I understand that will be enough this to pass to the next generation. But we live, I would say, let's say, in terms of longevity, by age of 90, so it's 3 generations already. Man, if you want to live by age of 90 and have success, let's say 200 years ago, average life should be done everything by age of 30, so you triple it already. So it's 3 generation cycle already in your life. But of course that's a figure of speech, but you understand what I want to say. You can't anymore worry or think too much about next generation, because God bless you, you have to think about yourself, how you're going to survive this 3 generation in 1 cycle. So we have to worry now how to we will go through all these 3 cycles and the wealth, and don't expect your wealth will not disappear, or you will be able somehow to pass it to third and further generation, because already you have so many risks to lose everything what you got within your own generation, within your own life. Hard times create strong people, and strong people creates good times, and the good times create weak people, and weak people create hard times. And this is the circle. But the good idea in here that it's not that bad in the world, because they do move, they have migration, and there is hard times, and so what happened in countries, and the war has always been around, that these good people, strong people, they do move. Nowadays it's easy to do. They have Ryanair, they have airlines, they have cars, they have so many transportation options, then you can move. And that's why we need to see what people move in your country. Are they strong? Are they weak? Because by them and by their health, by their strength, they can predict the future of the country and the future of also next generation. First generation builds wealth through sacrifice and innovation, and more importantly, through the hard work. Second generation maintains it comfortably, maybe a little bit more with cautions and a little bit more in a structured way. And the third generation grows detached or entitled or directionless. And here, of course, I leave it to history, to people who know better economics, people who know involved more in politics, because I think this 3 generation cycle represent what we are facing right now. And in terms, it's hard probably to assess, as I said, because we all want to live a little bit longer, and longevity in life medicine is all about to create this generation more transparent and easy, if you like. Without renewal of purpose, values decay faster than its assets, and civilizations mirrors this generational rhythm from Rome to modern capitalism, and we're still doing similar things, different technologies, but the history is there. What holds us together? They share story and purpose, meaningful work and social roles. We need to know what is meaningful for you, your values. That's why I have an amazing lecture and value test. You should be able call your values. You should be able to call values of your friends and say why you're friends and why you're choosing to be with these people. And the most important person is your life partner, your romantic partner, because that person will play the crucial role for you. In terms of children and in terms of our parents, it's normal that our children want to have different views, might have different values, and it's absolutely healthy. Then children and parents actually haven't not that too much impact comparison to their peers. So that's why family in intergenerational bonds are important, and they need to just accept a lot of things and have a wiser, more knowledge about it. Don't push your values to the next generation. Let them build up their own and live by their own values, and we simply, as a parents, as a society, as a family, support and respect their values, and maybe even being partly involved, and more important, being supportive. Moral and spiritual framework gonna hold us together. We all should have a moral and live by this moral, and choosing our peers, friends, environment based on values and our morals. Is the country or is your direction or your views corresponded, or you agree or disagree? And our action, we should be actionable. We should do something about it, because if we really live in the place where you disagree it all the time, you destroy your health, you destroy society as well. So do something about it. Balance of freedom and duties. We have to understand we need to be free, but however we should be responsible for our duties, for society, for the family, for cultural responsibilities, and of course, because without being meaningful human, society gets fragmented and fall apart, and all of us, without exception, responsible for it. So that's why we have to understand that everything is going now preventable, and we have enough evidence what we should do. We have enough of evidence what actions we should take. However, majority ignoring this and not doing anything. So lifestyle medicine is calling, take responsibility for your own actions, and finally to open your eyes how your lifestyle, how your daily choices, how your daily behavior might change the world. But we should be united as civilization, as humans, support lifestyle medicine, healing, other behavioral changes, and respect to environment and importance of environment, to live with purpose, for our purpose, connected to the nature, connected to others, and have a movement and balance between movement and rest, recover this energy, recovering culture, recovering and reviving everything, but that we get so detached in the past 50 years. We have time of diseases, preventable, and this is our responsibility. Apathy, obesity, lack of purpose, depression, anxiety as a result of inactivity and not taking any actions. And of course, lack of challenges. So we have to contribute to the nature, we have to contribute to the world, and we need to understand and remember that our health and our longevity is a physical, social and existential. So we have to do something, and our actions, what they do, reflects our health. And medicine of meaning. Medicine is changing. Approach of medicine also changing, and we need to understand psychological insight of the health, that we need autonomy, they need remove dependence and reward circuits. We have to work to things on if we want to get something. We have to be more creative, because only when we are creative, the more creative we get, then because when we're struggling. So that's why we shouldn't have a fear of challenges time. Get prepared for them and say, oh yeah, so I'll go for the challenge, because only for the challenge, only for the mistakes, and only for the painful times, dark times, that can grow. And purpose helping us to develop our brain and be more flexible. And how we're designing human utopias is combine abundance with challenge. So that's why, for example, you should practice this yourself. To have a treat or get the sweet, I have to work for it. Yes, so not like, oh, that's easy, I go and buy and I treat myself because I love myself and this is representation of self-love. No, it's not self-love. So that's why combine this and record it, because you're responsible. Only you can do that. Build cities for connections, not for isolation. So trying to make your space to be connected with your children, with your friends, or again, so it's more and more kitchen is open plans, isn't it? So they're trying to now think, when you cook, you can see your children, you can communicate. So you should think about every single moment to stay connected, not disconnected. We should have this active belongings, rather passive welfare. So you should be able to feel that you belong to the family, you belong to society, you belong to the culture, you belong to the country, you belong to something, and they respect you. As a result, you contribute, you volunteer, you give yourself, and you enjoy it. Connection with nature. And meaning in your lifespan, how you design your life, what you do your life to be meaningful. And remember that healthy utopia is dynamic and imperfect life. Imperfection getting us healthier, rather perfection. So conclusions of today's Utopia's lecture: the abundance without purpose is loss of spirit and is direction to nowhere, or actually to the direct death. History echoes, remember that they've been there already before and we're still doing similar mistakes. Learn history, reflect it, think about it, what you can make, what changes you can make to make sure they're not getting the result of Rome Empire or other empires or historical facts. What we can choose, what you personally, your family, your friends can do differently to connect, to create, and to serve to this planet, to have a purpose, to find your purpose, what you can do for that, what you value, and what is the utopian values that is not luxury. So we still stuck in luxuriness, would believe in luxury and understand actually it's not luxury at all. And lifestyle medicine is the blueprint for you to thrive, and Utopia is a balance with mass practice, and it's very hard practice because life is so many topics in our life. And the moment when you will get closer to the balance, this is more the happiness. But sadly, a lot of times the up and down, they go on the roller coasters, and this moment of the balance probably is happy. And we want to the end of our journey, and majority of the time you say, yeah, I'm closer to this balance, to feel more happiness. So that was all for today. Don't be scared of challenges. Don't be scared of the hard times or be scared of poverty or challenges, because this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to flourish. This is your opportunity, and this is our purpose of life.